PTE core test part 2. So this one is about writing. So writing, I find it very easy, but if you know the format, it's going to be very easy for you. So there will be two different questions on the writing. So one is the summarized written test. So they will be giving you the whole paragraph about, so they're talking about something, some companies or the population or some topics, and you have to summarize that within 10 minutes. So the time is 10 minutes. You have to write within 25 to 50 words. Don't write it above 50 words. Don't write it below 25. If you do that, computer will mark you 0. So make sure you do it between 25 to 50. And one more thing, when you write, you don't really have to count 1, 2, 3, 4 on the system. It's going to show how many words you've written, so you can focus on that and make sure you write it within 25 to 50 words. So on writing, the marking criteria is content, form, grammar and spelling, and vocabulary. So you have to focus on that. You have to maximize. You have to take at least 5 to 7 keywords from the passage. You have to have a format of writing the passage, and the grammar and spelling. Grammar should be accurate, and vocabulary. So on the writing thing, it will score you for reading and writing, because you're reading from the passage and you're writing, so you will get scored for that too. So it's going to be 10 minutes, 25 to 50 words, and it's going to mark you for content, form, grammar and spelling, and vocabulary. You should be having 5 to 7 keywords from the passage. You should be having a format, how you write the content, and grammar and spelling, they will be checking for it, and vocabulary, you should be having enough words to phrase your paragraph. So what I did is summarize it. Then I say this passage discuss about, and moreover, furthermore, overall. That's it. So but make sure you write within 25 to 50 words. That's the first one. Then writing an email is the second one. So writing an email, it's really easy. If you're a person who did IELTS before, you know that. For the writing an email also, you should be having a format. So this I'm writing this email to let you know that about this. Firstly, I would like to discuss about this, and secondly, maybe this, and then overall I would like to go like this, something like that. And then you say, I hope to hear from you soon, and regards, and your name. But usually on the emails, they will be saying you're writing this email to Mr. somebody, Mr. Ruth or Mr. Rose, Mr. Richard or something like that. So then you take their name, and at the end they may not be giving you a name, but I put my name as regards under the regards, so you can use the same. That's the 2 parts for the writing. Part 3, part 3 we are going to talk about reading. So reading, you have total time of 27 to 38 minutes. That's the overall time, and total questions is 13 to 18 questions. So 5 different areas: reading and writing blanks, MCQ and single answers, reorder paragraphs, MCQ multiple answers, and reading blanks, drag and drop. So reading, I find it very easy, but you have to really go with the grammar, because when you do reading and writing blanks, they will be giving you options. Below there in the passage, they will be giving you options. So you take it from there and drop it in the blanks. So you have to really check with the grammar and see. But I find it very easy, because the regular the one we use in a regular basis, that's why we get it. But so one thing you have to remember is that about the plural or singular, it comes with an S or something like that. You have to make sure which one to choose. But when I click on it, they will be giving you 4 options on the blanks. But I didn't have anything like adding S or anything. It was all different words, so it was pretty easy. So you can focus on it and check the grammar, and which one is apt for the passage, you choose it. So the second one is MCQ single answer. So they will be giving you a passage, then there will be a question. So but you have to choose single answer, so you can choose only one answer. So they will be asking a big passage. You have to read within the time frame and then just do it, because reading you manage on your time. You just have to finish it by your own time. You have to manage the whole minutes. So just read and don't waste too much time on one question. So if you use too much time on the first parts, then you don't get enough time to do the last part. So to make sure you are managing the time. So So single answer MCQ, so there will be multiple questions, so you will choose one single answer. And then the reorder paragraph. So the reorder paragraph is a tricky one, so you have to really practice it, and you should be able to do it. But most of it, and when you read a passage, you know which one comes first, which one comes second, you know that, right? But MCQ question answers, that's MCQ multiple answers. You have to choose multiple answers. But if you choose on the multiple answers, if you choose the wrong answer, your score will go minus. So if you don't know the exact answer for them, then choose only one. Choose only one. I didn't take much time on reading because I have to manage it on my time, so I was so nervous, so I was just rushing for the speaking. So make sure you manage your time, so you can make sure you do all the things and you don't lose your score. So that's a multiple answers. And reading blanks is drag and drop. So there will be a passage, and there will be few words down there, so you have to drag it and drop it, whichever it's apt for it, you have to drop it. So if you practice it, it's really easy, and you just have to check the grammar and the contents and how it's, and read it, try to read it, adding that word and see it's matching or not, and it should be okay. So that's the reading part. So for the listening, so the marking criteria, they focus on content, form, grammar, spelling, and vocabulary. So you will get point on the listening, you will get point for both listening and writing. So you make sure you do it really well, because it's marks for two different things. So make sure you have proper keywords from all the questions, and then you have proper format to write it, so the computer can test it and see how you're phrasing all your thing. And grammar, make sure when you write on the speaking test, when you write it's grammatically correct, so you get the proper score. And the spelling on the listening section, when you write, it should be spelling, it should be right. And the vocabulary, you should be using the proper vocabulary. It doesn't mean that you have to use like words were really pointing out. You don't have to do that. You can use the regular ones like moreover, furthermore, overall. That vocabulary should be enough for the PTE core. For the second one, the MCQ multiple answers, so you will be hearing an audio talking about something, and they will be asking you to mark more than one response. So listen to the audio very properly, and read. When you have time for the preparing the first, just read the question, then it's easy. When you listen, you know what they're talking about. So it's actually pretty easy when you really focus on the test. So just make sure you focus on the audio and just answer to the multiple choice question. So you have to choose more than one response, and if you're not sure that's right, so just choose one. Then listening task 3 is the filling the blanks. So there will be a passage, and there will be a passage, and the audio will be start playing. Then you have to fill the blanks, fill the dash or the box they are giving. You just have to fill it what words they are saying on the audio. That's pretty much easy, but you have to really listening to the. But you have to carefully listening to the audio, so you can catch the words which is missing from the passage, and you can add it there. So you write it without having any spelling mistakes. So make sure, because before you submit, you have a few seconds. So just make sure you put the right word. And one thing which I find it very difficult, not difficult, but I wasn't focusing. So once I hear one word, I add it there. Then there will be few sentences already on the passage, but I forget to take the mouse thing and click on the second box where you have to type it. So I type it on the same box, 2 answers, but then I erase it and do it at the last, otherwise I'll miss the other question. So just make sure if you do it, just you can erase it and add that to the second box. That's perfectly fine, okay? But you have to make sure you do it. Then the MCQ, then the fourth part of the listening is MCQ single answer. So there will be audio playing, same like the multiple answers. Audio will be playing. You have to choose one answer from the from the answers which relate to the content. So make sure you listen to it properly and choose one. So it should be, you should be able to actually answer that. This is the last one, you know that it's gonna pass, so just focus on clearly to this test. So you choose one answer and you should be fine. Fifth part is select missing words. So we'll be hearing a passage, so that one you have to clearly listen to it, because they won't be giving you a passage, just you listen what they're saying, and then at the very end you will have 4 words to fill it the very end. So listen to it and see what they are saying, and then fill with one of the words you have in your answer, and it should be okay. So we don't know which question they will be asking, but as far as I know, you would be able to choose one question. You will be able to choose one answer from the options for the very end part. Okay, so make sure it's a passage, you're listening to it, and the very end you will hear a beep sound, and you have to choose from the following answers one option. The sixth part of the listening is highlight the incorrect words. So you will be having a passage in front of you on the system, and then you will hear the audio where they speaks about the same passage, but few words will be different from the audio they're saying. So you just have to click on the words which is wrong, which is different from the audio you're listening to. So let's say for the test, they will say that there's an exam. So maybe on the audio it will be test, but on the passage it will be exam. So you click on that exam. So same like that, they will be saying planet, and but on the passage you will see earth. So you just have to click on that. Same like that, different words. So I got it like 7-8 words. We just have to mark and then go with it. So that's an easy one actually. So you just have to, for the listening, you really have to focus on the audio you're hearing, and you should be okay. The last part is write from dictation. So for that, you will hear a passage. You don't have a passage, you will hear the audio, and you have to write as much sentence you can, write to the space you have given. So sometimes you won't be able to remember everything, but for me, luckily, my passage wasn't that long, so I was able to really focus on and write the whole sentence. I didn't miss any. I write it. But if it's really hard for you, you can what you can do is, for me, what I did is I just write right away to the computer itself. I don't write it on the paper because it's going to be a double task for me, and I can't do that when I am nervous. I can't do that. So I write it right away to the computer. So it was really easy for me. So you can do that, or just write it on the sheet they've given you, and then pass it to the pass it to the space you have given. But maximum, like if you cannot really remember, but try to use maximum keywords. Try to remember maximum keywords from the passage and just write it, and you should be okay. So that's the whole part of the PTE. So speaking, so we have talked about speaking, listening, reading, and writing. So I wish all the best for all the students who are going to write the PTE core.